Hello and good evening to you all. Heri ya mwaka mpya. Wishing you all a happy new year. And first of all, I would like to thank all of you for taking time and joining or attending today's presentation, despite all your commitments. Yeah. Furthermore, I would like to thank Mr. Alfred Saini of SK Consult to give me this opportunity to share my experience and knowledge which I've gathered over the years on how to start a business and grow it successfully. Let me share or let me tell you something about myself. My name is Siddiqa Padhani. I'm the co-founder and managing director of Diamond Opticals Limited. I've been born and brought up in Dar es Salaam. So I've studied over here. The role in my organization is that I work on the operations and business development manager. My education background is that I have studied at the Institute of Finance and Management with an advanced diploma in accountancy. And I moved forward to a bachelor's degree in business administration and completing my MSc in management. I'm looking forward that the education that I've achieved or acquired over the years to help others, to help them grow and assist me in my career and others also. My previous experience, I've worked in Your Way Couriers Limited, Optic Zone, Tropicana Eye Center. And I personally feel that my strength as an entrepreneur, I'm a career coach as well, and I'm planning to move forward into SME coach. This is a short summary of how this presentation is going to take or how it's going to flow. So we look into how to start a business with some definitions and we move forward. So the objective of this presentation is to share my experience on how to start and grow a business. So university students, are you ready to start your own business now? Let's move forward. This presentation should be of particular interest to those who will join family business or business of their own once they complete the university degree in 2 to 3 years' time. So let's begin and discuss how to start your business. So this picture shows you this in business and employment. So some people would go to employment. So employment, let's say, is a job or a task or a piece of work where you will be getting paid, or an employee is a person who works for a company while performing his or her duties and is being paid for that. On the other hand, an enterprise that engages in commercial, industrial, or professional activity in order to get profit. So let's look into who is an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur is a person who creates a new business while bearing the risks and enjoying most of the profits and rewards. So why do you want to become an entrepreneur? So we say if you want to become an entrepreneur, you are your own boss. You work or you own your own time, make your own decision for your business. You have unlimited opportunity for income because business is, you can get opportunities and you can earn, while in employment, you have got a fixed income. At the end of the month, you get a certain paycheck, which is safe and secure, while entrepreneur is quite a risky business, but then sometimes the income or the outcome is good. As an entrepreneur, you always get motivated to do more compared to the employment, because when you go into employment, you know that you are going to get 1 million shilling a month. So this every month it's the same. So you don't have a motivation, and an entrepreneur is always motivated. Being an entrepreneur, you can work from anywhere. As we are now aware that due to COVID and all this, everybody is working online. So remote working is also in. You don't have to go into an office 9 to 5. So you can work from anywhere. There's flexibility and independence. As the definition says, entrepreneur is a person who sets up a business and takes financial risk in the hope of a profit. Yeah. So entrepreneurship is a concept that has been growing up its importance as the world economies have changed. The term refers to starting and sustaining of a business with the aim of making a profit. It can be associated with the use of innovation, but equally be applied to other things. So this is a small picture of the entrepreneur iceberg. So everybody will see that an entrepreneur is successful over here, which I would say is the 10%. So when you see an entrepreneur is successful, you see him coming, doing business, but behind all this success, he has started here. So when you start a business or when you start your entrepreneurship, there are mistakes you will encounter. You have to do hard work. You have to work many hours. You have to invest a lot. You may get profit or you may get loss. There is failure. This is disappointment. This is sacrifice. So as an entrepreneur, you have to sacrifice your family time, your social time, your holiday times, and that's only when you come into this success part on top here. Okay, so there are 7 types of businesses: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there's a sole proprietor, partnership, limited partnership, corporation, LLC, non-profit, and corporation. However, for the purpose of this presentation, we'll discuss just the 3. That's the sole proprietor, partnership, and limited corporation. So who is a sole proprietor? A sole proprietor is a person. A sole proprietorship is a type of business where there is no separation between the owner and the business. So the individual who opens a business, he is the owner and that's the business. What is the benefit of opening a sole proprietor? You enjoy the profit. So if you are the sole proprietor, you have your own profit, you are the only one sharing. Yeah. At the same time, if it's a loss, you share the loss by yourself. And then if you have to pay the creditors, you have to pay the creditors. You have to file your own tax returns. It's easy to operate a sole proprietorship. There are no major difficulties or challenges, and most of the businesses are sole proprietorship. However, let's add some more disadvantage. In case of bankruptcy, there is no protection. So it's the sole proprietor or the owner himself has to pay all the debt. Being a small organization or a small company, it's difficult to get loans or credit facility to finance your business, especially from the commercial banks. Since this business is being run by one person, so it's only his own ideas that he's going to discuss or run. He does not have any other idea. The organization is small, so they do not have the finances. So in order to finance and to keep human resource or get consultants' idea, it's challenging because they cannot finance it. Partnership. What is a partnership? A partnership is a formal arrangement by 2 or more parties to manage and operate a business and share its profits.
Sorry, Siddiqa, Samani.
Yes.
There's some people who are outside. They're trying to get in.
Okay, sure.
Do you want me to do it for you?
Yes, please.
Okay. You can see 4 people. Just letting them in.
Good evening to you all. And we have just started this program, maybe some 5 or 10 minutes. So we'll just catch up as we go along. So if we look into the partnership, since there are 2 or more people, we always have a collaboration. When you have collaboration, you have understanding, you are sharing your ideas. So the performance of the business will definitely increase because, as I said, or normally we hear 2 heads are better than 1. So with partnership, you will see that 2 people share ideas, performance or sales will increase. There's usually a planning and teamwork, synergy. So all this will lead to success of the organization. However, if we see to the disadvantage, since it's a partnership, then you are two or more, so you have to share the profit. So unlike sole proprietor, you are not the only person enjoying the profit. You have to share the profit. Yeah. Then there's another challenging part is that there are chances of conflicts and misunderstanding between partners. So sometimes, usually, nasema watu wawili wanagongana, sufuria mbili zinagongana. So that's a big challenge with partnership. Yeah. Sometimes there are conflicts with partners, and if one partner dies, somebody else will come in. So there are different of opinion with partners. However, there is a continuity in partnership, unlike sole proprietor. When the sole proprietor dies, the business dies. Here, if a person dies or retires or decides to leave the partnership, somebody else can come in and the partnership continues. The next is limited company. So limited company is a private limited company or a public limited company. So we'll discuss a private limited company, which is by the minimum people who can form a company, 2 or more. Okay. Is that the owners or the shareholders?
Please remember to mute yourself, participants. Ali Magadi, please mute yourself.
There are two total different things. So there's a legal existence between the two. So the company itself is a legal entity, and the directors are different legal entities. So the directors are not liable for the losses or to the extent of the shares they've invested. So in case if the company goes bankrupt, the directors are not liable, or they are liable to the extent of the investment. Yeah. And for a limited company, it gives a professional image. It increases the image of the organization, and there's separate legal existence. There's low risk, ease in incorporation, limited liability, and then the government interference is less. However, the disadvantage of a limited company is that there's a lot of paperwork to be done, additional filing, reporting, accounts. You see, you have to comply with all the tax and accounting standards. So these are the main challenges for a limited company. So here, as we say, the limited company, the owners aren't fully liable. There is tax service, professional image, additional filing and reporting requirements, and reduced privacy because you have to submit all the accounts. Yeah. So we go to the next step, that when you want to start a business, what are the 4 things that you have to look into starting a business? Market research. When you want to start a business, wherever you are, whether you're in Dodoma, Moshi, or Dar es Salaam, or any part of the world, market research is the main component before you even embark into research. So what is your product or service? And you have to do the research. So whether it's needed or who are the consumer end. I'll just share one example of McDonald's. McDonald's is a fast food company all over the world, and I think everyone is aware of it. And they normally deal with burgers like beef burgers, fish burgers. So they wanted to open their McDonald's in India. So if you look into India, I think 90% of the Indians are Hindu. They follow a religion where beef is not allowed. So how can McDonald's penetrate the market where beef is not allowed? So they had to create this product, which is called Mac Veggies. So it is a vegetable burger. So I'll just go back here on the previous slide. They had to introduce vegetable burger, which had to be penetrated, and the people were. So consumer need was decided or looked into, and then the veg burger was created. Another example I will take is a local company called Azam Bakresa. Azam Bakresa has got many products. So I'll come here to this slide. They have something called paratha or chapati, and they've got a coconut cream milk, which came to my eyes that I needed to share this with you. So if we come here, market research, Azam did a research and saw that most of the women in Tanzania are working. So when I'm working, I have to go back home, I have to cook. And most of the African dishes are made with coconut milk. So the coconut, you have to break, and it's called you kuna the coconut. So this was made easy. It's just you open and use the milk. You take the chapati, you cook. So he tried to look into what the consumer wants, what the women want. So it made life easy for women. So this is the market research before they imported or before they started making this product. Another example I will share, because all of you are university students. So I'm sure that in your universities you have got canteens. So the canteens are selling like chips, fries, burgers, chicken chips. So I just want to give you one highlight that if you are a university student, if you go to your canteen and you don't find chicken chips, burgers, pizzas, okay, and you find that that person who wants to open your restaurant in the canteen is putting brown bread, low-fat milk, and healthy salads and healthy food. So this person who is opening this restaurant in your canteen will definitely collapse because the students are not going to buy this food. I hope you are with me. Are we together? Students, are we together?
Yes.
See now,
Yes.
so this is market research is very important for the product that you are going to start or whatever you want to sell. Yeah. We next go to the legal framework. So when you have decided that you want to open your business here in Tanzania, so there is this board which is called Business Registration and License. So you have to go and register your business there. So you need to go with your NIDA card or passport copy. You have to choose 3 names of your company with the place where you are going to do your business. So you go with your lease agreement, your legal documents, your stamp duty has been paid, your withholding has been paid. Once you submit, you get your certificate of incorporation. After that, you have to move to the TRA office to get your TIN certificate. They'll give you the tax number, and then you have to go to your district municipality, whether it's Ilala, Kinondoni, Temeke, Ubungo, wherever you are, or if you are in Moshi or any other place, you have to go accordingly, and then they will give you your business license. Here we come. There is this famous quote which says, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. All businesses need to be planned. So when you plan, we call it strategy. So you look into the strategy, strategic planning. So this is what they say, strategy is the direction and scope of an organization over the long term, which achieves advantage in changing environment through its configuration of resource and competence with the aim of fulfilling stakeholders' expectation. So you need to have a strategy when you want to do your business, where you are, where you want to be, and how you are going to be. So this is all you go with a strategic plan. And strategic plan consists of your mission statement, your vision, your short-term goal, and your long-term goal. The short-term goal is between 1 and 3 years. Long-term goal is between 3 and 5 years. The next is finances. So when you're opening your business, how do you finance your business? So there are several ways where you can finance your business, which is personal savings. So if you have worked for a few years, you have done some savings and then move into business or opening so your personal savings or owner's fund. If you are in a partnership, then 2 people will bring in their savings and bring the capital and start the business. Other is family or friend support. So if you have your savings, you bring in your family, relatives, friends, they will support you with this what do you call a free interest loan, and then you can pay them accordingly. You come to short-term loans. You must have heard of microfinance bank. There are many microfinance bank over here in Tanzania who lend you money on a short-term loan, maybe 3 to 6 months. Once you establish your business, you pay them back, but then you have to pay with an interest. If it's a limited liability company or a partnership, maybe you can get a moderate term loan, which is a bank overdraft facility you get for a year, and you can use that as a working capital. You can use that as a capital to increase your business. It's long-term loan. Long-term loan, usually the banks and the commercial, they give you long-term loans that is 3 to 5 years, but you need to have a collateral or a security. So an asset, for example, a building or an office, like it should be a collateral. Usually it's in a sort of a building or a fixed asset. That is how they take it, and then they give you the bank loans. External funds. External funds, venture capitalists are usually there to give you short-term or a long-term loan, but then the interest rates are very high. So you need to calculate what profit you are going to get and how much interest you are going to pay. Then there is angel funds. Usually there are angels funds who give you, borrow the funds. They do not charge you any interest, but once you start making profit, you have to give them their share of profit. So they somehow become shareholders in a long term in your company. So these small organizations or small ownerships, we call them small, medium sizes enterprises. So what are small, medium sizes enterprises? If you look all over the world, there is no specific definition of small, medium enterprises, but most of the countries join hands and define small, medium by the number of employees and the capital invested. Okay, so applies in Tanzania. So in Tanzania, SMEs can be defined into 4 categories. There is micro enterprise. So micro enterprise usually comes with a capital investment up to 5 million shillings, and the number of employees are 1 to 4. While for small enterprises, the number of employees are between 5 to 49. So if your organization has between 5 and 49 enterprise and your capital investment is between 5 and 200 million, you are categorized as small enterprise. Medium enterprise is between 50 and 99, while your capital investment is between 200 and 800 million. Large enterprises, the number of employees are 100 plus, and your capital investment is 800 million. So this is according to Tanzanian policy 2002. This is how they have defined small medium enterprises. So if we look into Dar es Salaam, statistics shows that most of the SMEs play a role in the economic growth and they increase the GDP. So there are 3 million such businesses, and they give around 23.4% of the total employment, and 95% of the businesses in Tanzania are represented by 35% of the country's GDP. However, the challenge is that as many SMEs are being incorporated, be it sole proprietor, partnership, or limited liability, the chances are that most of them, 50% of the SMEs actually survive. The rest die or phase up, or they are closed up, go bankrupt within the first 5 years. So why does it happen that they open and then they close? So what are the challenges which they normally face? So the challenges that are faced by entrepreneurs are that they do not have strategic planning. So when they do not plan, for example, a business is opening and you have not planned how much stock you are going to buy. So when we buy stock, we keep on buying. So we use our money to block the stock. We have that stock, then we have to put it into a warehouse, where that warehouse you have to pay rent for it. And then by the time it starts to sell, it becomes obsolete or out of stock or out of fashion. So strategic planning is not there. There is no cash flow budget or cash flow system or any budgeting. They do not have any mission or vision. So mission or vision for where they are, where they want to reach, how they are going to reach. Short-term and long-term goals are missing. This is the biggest challenge for small, medium enterprises. because there is lack of education, managerial skill, business training, and human competency. As by giving this presentation to you, you are studying in the university, I will lack of education. So currently the way we are running businesses, I will just go some 50, 60 years back where our grandfathers were doing business. Their education level was maybe grade 7, but in those days, grade 7 was considered highly qualified. Then we came to the O levels and the A levels. You are now probably studying in the university business management, accounting, budgeting, how to prepare cash flow. So if you don't have all this idea or education, how to run, how to plan things, how will you run your business? If you order some goods, because of the world has become global village, technology is there, economies of scales are there. Now, how do you decide whether you want to import goods from China, or you want to import goods from India, or you want to produce in Tanzania? So you need to have that costing of the product, whether it's cheaper to produce here and sell or import and sell. Import also, whether China is easy, Dubai is cheaper, or India, or whichever country you are choosing. Yeah. Small businesses, usually the biggest challenge is that when they want to expand, the finance is always an issue for them because they don't have any guarantors. Capital is always a problem. Lack of information and technology. The world is becoming smaller and smaller with the information and technology. While in Tanzania, it has gone to a certain extent due to COVID. Everything is there, internet is there. We are now able to communicate through Zoom. But still, most of the people who open small businesses, information and technology is difficult. Rigid and unfavorable legal regulation. I would say that in Tanzania, when you want to open something, you have certain rigid and legal regulations to follow. Underdeveloped infrastructure. This is also improving now, but still there are challenges here that we need to improve. Poor business development services. So in order to open businesses, like an example, in Rwanda, if you want to open a business, you can open in one day. Here, it's slightly challenging. So these are some of the challenges of our country, but we are developing, we are trying to rectify, and we are moving forward. So these challenges are minor, and I think that can be faced.
Sorry, Siddiqa, again for interrupting you. We have some few students who are logged off. Is that okay if I let them in?
Yes, sure.
Okay, so I'll just take the host, reclaim the host, and then let them in and then return to you.
Tupo pamoja wanafunzi? Are we there?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, of course. Yes.
Yeah.
Tupo, ingawa wengine tulipotea, mtandao ulisumbua.
Shida tapata. Okay,
Tupo
asante. Tuko pamoja, asante. So we have finished the first part on how to start your business. Now you have started your business. Now how to grow the business, because you need to grow, right? Okay. So you have to look into some strategies on how to expand your business, how to grow your business. So invest in systems. When you say invest in systems, it's very important that everything is going technological. So you need to have, for example, a clinic or eye hospital. You need to have systems to put your patient's name. This is very important. So invest in your systems, invest in your website, invest in your homepage, invest in your blog. So keep on writing whatever your product is or whatever the thing is. So you will see that your blog, your website, your homepage, your systems. In systems, you put your stock system, your accounting system, your payroll system, all the systems which are needed for your business. For small enterprise, it is very expensive, but then you have to go piecewise or slowly by one you have to add. Make a plan to grow your business. So you have to have a plan. You have to have your sales budget. You have to have your production budget. You plan where you are and how you are going to grow your business. So in here comes your marketing plan also. You have to incorporate your marketing plan and how you are going to grow your business. So second thing is that always have a backup plan, because you see the world has become very uncertain currently. before COVID, or gone are the days when you could plan for 5 to 6 years or 5 to 10 years. Because as I say, there's a strategic planning to be done. So you see, there's a deliberate strategic planning and emergent strategic planning. For small businesses, what happens is that you plan something, but you wake up in the morning, you find that something has gone wrong. Your machinery has collapsed, or something. If you're a restaurant, your fryer is burned out. So you have to have a backup plan or an emergency fund or something, that if this goes wrong, what I'm going to do. So that's a backup plan. Take calculated risks. For example, if you have small capital because you are starting, I would like to give a very good example is a restaurant. For example, you have a kitchen which can cook for 50 people, and then you get order of 1,000 people. I want to cook for 1,000 people. So from 50, you can go to 100, but from 50, you can't go to 1,000. So you have to take calculated risk or whatever is in your capacity. Invest in your staff and culture. This is very important. When people come to work with us, it's very important to give them the environment to work and the tools to work so they can work comfortably. When I was working somewhere, they had kept me as a trainee somewhere, a very small room or a very small office. So the staff need breathing space, the staff need place to work. For example, a table or something is very important. Then keep a culture of learning. When the staff come, you must keep them that every year or every 2 years, they should go for their training, or they should increase their education level or personal development. When they learn this thing, they will come and utilize it in your own organization, and your organization will grow. Stay focused on your core strengths. So you have to identify what are your core strengths, or what are the core strengths of the organization, and then maximize. Be financially savvy. Small organizations have very big challenge to have financially in a manner. What you have to do is that you need to have a backup. If you are running an organization, at least they say that you should have 3 months expense amount in bank, but this is a very big challenge for small organizations. They can't keep, but you always have to have some emergency fund. Okay. Don't forget the value of annual strategic planning. Strategic planning is very important. You have to plan, and also keep in mind that things are uncertain. Businesses are uncertain. So you should be flexible also. Don't say, I've planned this, that I will do this 10 o'clock, I must do this, or I have to do this, I have to order this. Situations have changed. You should be flexible to amend your planning. Focus on your branding. Branding is very important. You will see DHL and other organizations, they always brand themselves. Trust yourself. This is very important. Businesses are good. There are good days and bad days. There are profit and losses. As an entrepreneur, you must trust yourself. Things will not be easy, as you saw on the iceberg. So you have to trust yourself. If there are losses, you have to look forward how to make it. And as I always tell people, or I always tell my students who come for career coaching, that Rome was not built in a day. Yeah. So Rome was not built in a day. So you have to put many hours, much time in order to bring your business up. Utilize the customer management system. When you are doing something, be it a restaurant, be it clothing, you have to know who your customer is. If there's a management system to know, for example, that what product you are selling. For example, if you go to this McDonald's, or if you go to your restaurant, they should know that veg burgers are being sold more, or beef burgers are being sold more. So there should be a system where you can identify which customer or what are the demands of the customer. Research the competition. Research the competition, that means look into your competitions, what they are doing, or what is coming up, or what is something new. Yeah. Create a customer loyalty program. I would always say, when you have a loyal customer, give them back something, give them a bonus, or something like a loyalty card. Usually in Western countries, there are loyalty cards, they get points. So give them back something, so they will come back to you. When your business is set, don't sit there only, look for new opportunities. It's always important that you move forward. Build an email list. Ensure that your customers list is there so that you can contact them. Yeah. So this brings us to the end of our presentation, and I will add some more key takeaways. So it's very important that when you want to start your business, decide that you want to go for a sole proprietor, partnership, or a limited company. I emphasize on marketing research. Do your research before you embark into any business. Give importance to strategic planning. Give importance to your finances. Keep your business and personal accounts separate. This is a very common or a challenging thing that, especially in the sole proprietor and partnership, what happens is that the business money becomes owner's money and the owner's money becomes the business money. So you really have to separate your accounts. Whatever salary or whatever drawing you have decided, make sure you draw that. The rest is all business money. Digitize your accounts and finance management. So right now, gone are the days when people used to do accounts by writing hands and drawing up trial balances. Those who are in the accounting field right now, we write, but now everything is software and you have to digitize your accounts. Take advice from professionals. There are many consultants. In order to start a business, they will advise you. Frugality pays this business. Manage your debt properly, because when you are in a business, pay your suppliers on time, pay your salaries on time. That's how you are going to grow and people are going to trust you. So it's very important to manage your cash flow. And when you are in business, it always is important that you pay yourself first, because you are also putting in hours, so you need to draw a salary as well. So this marks the end of my presentation. And if you have any questions, please go ahead and ask. Asante sana. I will thank again for all of you who are here to take your time and listen to my presentation.